What is up? Workbringer here, and today it is week 2 of Shadowlands, and we're going to be checking out a Sanguine Depths, a Sanguini, as they call it, and the Looking for Dungeon group finder. +6, and it is Tyrannical. So bosses are hard, mobs not so hard, and we're not doing a 7, so there's no tornadoes like in my my Mists of Tunisite video that I did earlier. So right before this one, I did a +4 Tyrannical, and we 3-chested it, meaning I finished it in like half time. And because the mobs, I'm so used to the mobs being like so much harder. On a +4, I'm like 202 gear level now after this dungeon. Spoiler alert, we finish it. Anyway, I was about 201 anyway when I did the +4, and I could basically treated it like it was a normal, and I was triple pulling, and I might make a video about it because it's kind of so funny to see how much gear and maybe some knowledge helps, but I was triple pulling. Like, I was triple pulling this whole hallway, and I actually even pulled the boss with mobs still on them, like a full pack of mobs onto a boss, and we still finished it pretty confidently. Again, 3-chesting. Here we're seeing that this group, this gear level, that Echoing Thrust is kind of a good indicator on how hard the dungeon is relative to your health pool. And I immediately stepped on a trap, and I ate at least one of these thrusts here, the Echoing Thrusts, and it was like a third of my health. So I immediately had to slow it down. I was like, okay, so I can't take like 2 of those. I would probably be dead, possibly, right? If I'm not like 100% health. And I believe we have a Holy Priest, so no shields for me, right? Sometimes like the priest will like, into a big pull, they'll like rapture, and then you just have like a gigantic bubble around you before it gets to your health bow. But nothing like that here. So I'm taking this kind of slow, but I did double pull the first pack. That just feels good. Gives the Demon Hunter and the Warrior something to do. Demon Hunters and Warriors love cleaving. They love a big group to cleave them down into I-beam and whatnot. And this Marksman Hunter probably doesn't mind it either. So this part's pretty unremarkable. When you're doing this on +10, you actually skip this pack for count so you can get prideful. But for this one, I'm like, let's just do the smash. Because what you have to do for prideful is then you have to like go into like side rooms to make up count. And for like, we're well below 10 at this point. And I'm still don't feel like I'm ready for a 10 unless it's like with my guild, because my guild's doing 10s, but definitely would need to be on voice comms, and they'd have to be kind of forgiving because I don't know how to do prideful yet. Anyway, basic stuff here. We're pulling all the ticks. You'll see that one of them is under the ground. That red one is untargetable. I wonder if one day that will be fixed. I assume it will. I believe it like pops up later. Still an irritating bug to have to deal with. Now on my +4, I didn't realize this, but I just ran into that pack and Divine told it, and I pulled the boss, and I was like, well, that's it. Busted Avenging Wrath and just grouped everything up and killed it. Here that would be a wipe. On a 6 that would be a wipe. I'm at 200. I think this group's probably in the 180s, I would guess. Maybe the Demon Hunter's pretty close to 200. It's hard to say. I didn't really look, but the numbers aren't crazy. Like the Demon Hunter's pulling pretty big numbers actually. So yeah, I feel like the Demon Hunter's probably close to 195 or something like that. I'd have to look it up. But anyway, there's nothing much to say about these mobs here. I'm still basically treating it those mobs like it's a +3 or +4, not a big deal. It's the vampires that have the Echoing Thrust and the traps. Those can kind of really end you. If you just eat 2 traps and then get thrusted, you're probably dead. This boss, however, on Tyrannical is much different. So we have to interrupt that, but it's a pretty basic pattern. And I tank him away from everyone, and when he does this rush, it's a very long cast. We all have to line up to soak like that. No big deal again. We're all back at full. I don't know what Holy Priest spells are. I should probably look it up a little bit when I run with a Holy Priest. But yeah, here comes my headbutt. And so after this, he's going to do this big slam, or the Severing Smash. And what's going to happen is like we each spawn this little soul ball, and then we take huge damage, group damage. But if the balls reach him, then we do big damage and he heals. So it's like it's a bit of a health check because I don't know, maybe a disc going full ham could, or like, if we all stacked, which you're not supposed to do, like a resto shaman with like spirit link and all the cooldowns done to get everyone back up. I mean, it's a thing, right? Or to do it like preventatively, maybe a disc could do it with like shields, like if they like pre-planned it. There's another one, but huge damage, right? Like if someone had popped this last one, we would have all been dead. Unless I immune or something like that. So it's pretty rough at a 6 right here. I think we would have to be a little bit more coordinated. Maybe if they were less melee. I was actually making this joke when we first grouped up for this. I was like, okay, we have a demon hunter and a warrior. At least we have one hunter. Because the issue is that the orbs spawn like right on the players. And so basically 3 of us, the orbs are right on us. So they're instantly going to get... they're instantly going to pop is what's going to happen. But we dealt with it fine. Didn't have Divine Toll, so sad. Usually I Divine Toll the crap out of this group. But just kind of slowly did it. Was taking a bit of damage because, again, Divine Toll is a 3-second silence on basically all of them. Didn't have it, but our Demon Hunter is going ham and just killing everyone, which is nice, actually, because I didn't have Divine Toll for my silence. So these are actually doing more damage than living longer and doing more damage than I'm usually used to. So thank you, Demon Hunter, for your burst AoE. So this gargoyle, you will deal with him multiple times. Severing Slice, face it away. I'm the only one that eats it. I am pretty geared, so not taking too much damage. Craggy Fracture, do I eat it? I think I did. I think I took a hit, but I'm pretty platey. We luckily interrupt Turn to Stone, which probably just buffs him armor-wise. And who else is going to get it here? Healer, me and Healer. But it's only half healthing the Healer who's cloth, so not a big deal. So here, we want to focus the Grand Overseer, because if that guy lives, he is going to eventually cast this chains thing, which makes it hard for us to move and pulses crazy AoE damage. So I mark it, and I've actually macroed control 1, 2, and 3. When I control 1, it's a skull, and then I say out loud, interrupt, skull, right? So it's kind of this like focus target thing, where it's like most people know to funnel that boss and kill it, but I'm also calling out with my macro. That was a sketch multi-shot with that that pat back there. I'm looking at the health bars right now, actually, and I'm like, did we pull? Because I'm seeing the health bars go down, and I'm seeing a little bit of aggro flashing, and I'm seeing the hunter, and I'm like, oh man, we pulled something. Like, you can pull this room. Like, when you do Prideful, you pull that room to the left, and I'm like, oh man, we're dying. Like, what's going on? I was about to lay on hands. I was about to do, like, all of the evasive maneuvers. But then I realized, I was like, okay, but we're just sitting here. Took me a long time to realize that our priest, our healer, was way back there. I wasn't sure exactly what was happening because we were running through this. I was going to try to +2 this place. Maybe a +3. I don't know if that's possible. At a +6, it probably is. But what happened is the healer's typing that he is having computer issues and is going to relog. So thus starts the fast forwarding, and, pretty painful to have to wait here for this. But you'll see that there's quite a lot of video left. They do come back, and we're just having a chat. And this is a bit of a funny group. Can't go into like the premise of what this was going with, but let's say we weren't too bored waiting. We were just like typing, and I don't know. This is a funny group, and it's part of why I like World of Warcraft. It's like kind of social, but I have no idea who these people are, and we can just do whatever we want, just goof around, all within the context of a bunch of superheroes killing vampires. It's a good time. I quite enjoy it. But anyway, yeah, so I have control 1 is skull, and it says interrupt skull. Control 2, I believe, is X, and it says stun X, which is different than interrupting. A stun is like, it'll actually stop them. It's a gray bar cast, right? And so that's for like the Houndmaster and the Shroom Stormer. And there's a couple mobs that like, we must stun these. Either out when like always, or it could be a cap totem. Just stun them. It can be Demon Hunter, I think is the stun. That big, I think it's a talent that like AoE stun. It means stun him, right? And so it says stun, and I put an X and it says stun X, right? And then basically like all the AoE stuns start coming out. And the control 3 I have, oh yeah, we're ready now. I'm popping. I'm like, got all my cooldowns back. We're avenging. We're doing the big damn here, 13k in the front. And the third one, control 3, is a square, and it says CC square. And that's more for like a hunter, right? So when we're doing Plaguefall first boss, I'll just like, remind the hunter or the banish or whoever's got the CC job for the big ad. I'll just, I'll mark it for him, and it's going to say, hey, CC this thing. Because in the heat of the moment, especially if something kind of goes wrong, right, people kind of forget their assignments. And so, yeah, I macroed the raid markers plus me saying it out loud, which I don't see my own talking bubble. I don't know if you have to yell that or something. I don't know. But this guy's getting the stun. No one's doing it, but it's okay. So you might notice something if you've watched a bunch of my videos as we start to clear out this trash. I have a new strategy for this room based on this run that I can talk about in the end, which you will see what happens. But you may notice that I am no longer a Lightforged Draenei. Yes, I have had a race change. I am now human. And my theory on this, I'm not saying it's best race or Sims best. Like, I don't really care. One, I like how the human model looks. I'm into that too. But the racial, although very cool, falls off, right? In the early parts of the release when I made it, it's like we're all super low gear, and like that amount of damage that the racial from the Lightforged Draenei has is significant, right? But as you go higher and higher, it's not. And it's actually, it freaks people out when I pull with it, right? It's actually a bad idea. Oh, I ate that. I ate that one. This gargoyle took me by surprise. I wasn't expecting it to pop open alive. You always have to check if it's going to spawn and then pull the pack, right? So we're taking big damn out here. Healer dies. So it's a rough one. By the way, this is a rough run. Again, I came into this from a +4 that we 3-chested. So I'm just running. And the 6 is not quite that. Not like that. Now, do I res the... Okay. So this is a theme because this is quite the, adversity-driven, adversity-filled run here. But I tell the priest, I was like, I can res you. I'm a paladin. Just so you know, like, don't... And it's a decent run back, so I'm like, I can res. I say it to the whole... I was like, I res, so, don't release. If the healer's dead, I still got you. Don't worry about it. I actually have some battle res engineering things, the reanimators. I just haven't used them yet. I got to test it on like a controlled group. I don't want to try it like on something like this. But anyway, bunch of deaths so far. But we're progressing. We've done well. Plus that big DC in the middle, so we're time challenged. I'm pretty sure I could have +2 this with this group. I pulled this one a little preemptively because I forget that these things leave red pools, and what I was trying to do was bring them back to the Venthyr pot, and not on a +6. I mean, we're pumping, like me and the DK are like 5k, 6k'ing these things down, and like they're not dying. So yeah, we were never going to kill them. In front of that, since when that got activated, I forget how long you have to kill them in front of it, but that wasn't gonna happen. But still, looks like they're doing that always freaks me out is that's the Demon Hunter Dark ability. So we take less melee damage, I think, when we stay in it. But it's always like, I always want to run out of it. And then I'm like, oh, no, that's Demon Hunter. That's Demon Hunter good stuff. Though it got nerfed, I heard, but whatever. Still good to cleave it down. And now I'm like, you're gonna turn into a gargoyle. And it wasn't. I stop for a second here and I tell them I'm kiting, right? So even though this isn't fortified, I'm running. And I even stay here a little long. Here comes look at my health. Oh, half health. There's the Enrage and Divine Toll and run. Run away. Frenzied Ghouls. Yeah, there's probably no mass suit. Like, look at that. But are they ticking down? Yeah, 4, 3. I'm still just running. And now they're back to normal, but they still hurt. And I Divine Horse back the other way, which is, that's pretty stock for me. I do this like all the time. It's the same dance with the bears. It's like, get in there, give them the threat, right? Avenger Shield, Shield of the Righteous, Divine Toll, Shield of the Righteous, and run away. And I'm like, oh, the gargoyle, you coming out? It's not. So This starts off quite well. We're going to pull this way, right? And you see the laser goes down the right side of the room. Someone immediately gets castigated. They need to pop a defensive and they need to get healed up. We immediately go to the side that the laser came because it's going to come the other way. We now have a manifestation. I mark it. I say kill it and kill it good. And it's going to leave a pile of blood. And I move to the other side. And it's repeat after this. Someone gets castigated. We move to the other side while not standing in it. And all is well. However, we are taking big damn, much higher damage than a +3 or +4, whatever I just came from. Like I did like the really easy one, and then I did this one, and I'm like, oh boy, we're dying out here. And you'll see that the laser went by, but I'm out here healing, and it throws off my rhythm, and I'm about to eat a laser. And even worse, I am not telling the team what side to be on, right? Because they're not necessarily thinking, they just like follow which way the tank is. But I'm back on the rhythm here. But you see when I have to stop the heal, off heal, I'm like, and I stay there again. Ooh, but I move over, I kind of get back. Do I mark this? Dude, I hope I mark it, right? And move immediately back again. We're getting scary low here. Now, there is a rhythm to this. I'm going to heal myself here. Like, look how much healing I'm doing on the right, on the bottom right. Like, I am matching the healer with heals here. There's a rhythm where there's points where, oh man, see, I'm off. There's points where I won't take damage and I wait for them and I start healing is what's happening. We're also losing someone in the background. Yeah, it's getting dicey, right? This looks pretty wipey. It looks pretty wipey. I'm the one killing it, and look what happens. The lasers come, and we've gone so far back, we butt pull the other pack, right? It's like, this is wipe sauce, right? But I look at the boss, I'm like, nah, it's got 1 health left. And look what pops up right next. Avenging Wrath to save the day. That healer is at 0 mana. And I've popped... actually, I have Divine Shield. I don't know what I was doing. I should have... I don't know if it came back or I was holding it. But compared to the run, I kind of want to show the the 3 chest run I did of this place because it makes it look like it's so easy. But this really kind of just like puts it in its place. It's like, nope. On Tyrannical, this one's still hard. So pretty rough. But we get it. We haven't wiped to a boss, I don't think. And we're all running back, but the healer says, please res. And I'll drink because they are literally at 0 mana and I'm an idiot and like running off and come back. And I'm like, okay, sounds good. And I res them. So other than the DC and some pretty harrowing moments on this dungeon, we've actually done all the tactics correctly. The first boss is a DPS check because of the smash that he does that like separates your soul. And then when you get the soul back or whatever, the orb, it DPSs everyone. So it's a bit of a healing and health pool check. So like this same group, if we went to +8, we might just die to it. And I saw Growl and a couple other people doing +14s, and he couldn't out heal it, and people didn't have enough health, so they just kept dying on that same part over and over again. There's like nothing you can do. Maybe you have 1 rapture, but that's it. So we're moving on to this boss. I would say that this is the easiest boss here. There is absolutely nothing to this. That doesn't mean that people don't die. But, there's like some nothing adds, but, grateful for the count. Easy count, right? The casters don't do very much, enough people to interrupt it. And the vestiges or whatever, those things, they leave red pools that you don't stand in, but the room's gigantic, right? So not a big deal. Kill these 2. Nothing much to say. And yeah, I'm really enjoying week 2 Tyrannical. I would say that it just makes you appreciate the boss fights even more, which I'm actually down with. And I actually think that with the right group, that I could push a +10 in here. We would just need to have like, I'm not saying anything about this group, but I would need like, just to play the bit, I'm like, I would take a R Shaman or like an extremely geared like 205 Resto Druid. It's like, we just need big heals. Again, for that first fight, Crixus or whatever, that's big heals for this. And then like a very mobile healer and mobile DPS for the last fight because you just moving. You're just always moving. Again, this group we do a fine, right? Very melee heavy, which is a little tough when you get the tornadoes in the next when we go up to a 7, gets a little harder. Everyone needs to be very, very, very mobile in this dungeon. But that being said, the mechanics, if you're mobile, at least I know them very well. And maybe that's the difference in a lot of dungeons. If you know the mechanics, like you're not going to die. But like I know these mechanics really well. Like I think it's fun to do this fight. Go pick up the orbs. People, I start just healing immediately. Like where our health pools are a little low or something. But I don't die to this. I take like 2 or 3 of the orbs, and like I don't take that much damage. And I just heal myself. Now this is big damage. I probably should have immune that possibly. I still am sitting on Divine Shield. That's my like I have 1% health and I need to just have nothing happen. And then I can heal myself and decide what I want. But we lost our warrior, I think. This warrior, love him. Great individual. I take 4, greedy. But no one was going to take it. Hey, no one was coming for that. Look at, go to waste. And I'm going to heal everyone back. That warrior does a lot to mechanics. I'm not sure if like what the combination of things that were happening is happening, but yeah, that's a lot. Defensive here, yeah, I think I have my cooldowns back, and I'm getting chunked down, but survivable, and I'm gonna heal myself back with my Word of Glory. And again, look at the healing bar on the right. It's the top right details is healing. I'm like, I am out here healing. I think I got 2. Am I going to be greedy and take this one? Am I going to also take that one? No, I leave that for the poor priest who barely gets it. We actually had more spheres on that one because someone's dead, so in a way. Now, our hunter's getting it, and I'm watching the demon hunter and the hunter getting killed, the 2 hunters. I'm like, why are you guys dying? I guess I don't understand the fight that well. But yeah, I'm just counter flash healing everything. Like, you can mitigate or you can just like pump it back the other way. And I just know that in a +6, like my flashlight is decent, especially if it crits or something like that. So again, rezzing. I think I've rezzed this. I didn't realize at the end we're joking about like, I was like, this is my last res for you because we finish it. But I think I rezzed this warrior like 5 times or something like that. I guess it's only been 2. I'm looking at the 2. I yell at them, don't touch that shield. And I'm looking at like I'm like, there's a world where like irresponsible DPS or healer could take it, but that's not my world. That's not the world I live in. LOS pull this. This is a bit of a breather. We could still die. I think someone does die, actually. I forget. But there's traps. There's basically traps and bears, right? So you could die in here. If you ate the thrust and if you ran over the first 2 traps, something like that, you could definitely die. No, we're good. Okay. 15 minutes is plenty. It's completely fine. I say kill the Grand Overseer and interrupt them. And what I am this is Pug style. Like I'm not communicating this. I'm just like, everyone sit on the Grand Overseer to let no casts off. And that's a huge saving on damage. I'm sitting on this Grand Sentinel and I'm looking for 2 spells. 1 Craggy Fracture to get out of the way. I still eat it, but I've got that Stone Skin. Oh, I think I let it go. Sad. I let it go. And so hopefully everyone else is tunneling the Grand Overseer because he basically, it looks like is he down yet? Oh, he's not down. He basically puts like a chain on us and it makes it hard to move. And then this guy's Craggy Fracturing us, right? Which is not good. And thrusting. So it's a bit of a dance here, but looks like we've all done it enough. And I do believe I properly focus targeted us. I was like funnel into the Overseer because that hurts, and then cleave everyone else, right? And I was supposed to stop turn to stone had I done that, but like I didn't want to die to interrupt it. But that gargoyle thing lives less long as well. So I've actually learned how to do this correctly. I've been doing this wrong. So each one of these packs is a pack, and you have to completely kill it. And you also have to get General Call to, I believe, a certain amount of DPS. A certain amount of health. And the thing is, the whole time there will be Gargons coming at you. And in the past, at this phase, I would have already started to pull us into the next pack. Now you can do that on Fortified, but on Tyrannical, this boss health, you need to get it down, right? And so when he gets to 100 energy, I put the shield down, right? That's just what I take the shield, and he does a big ol' AoE, and we're safe from it, right? So we're getting our patrolling bears. I'm having a hard time getting threat from them. I think it's we just have some, some strong DPS in the house, right? So I think it's the Demon Hunter pulling threat. I'm giving him all the business I have, and they're still pulling threat from me. So it's not a lot I can do other than like single select them and do a taunt or something like that. I really try not to do that. It's like kind of inefficient. But anyway, in the past when I had done this and I was like, this place is insane, I would basically chain pull and never stop. I would be taking this pack already into the next pack at this point, right? And on Tyrannical, that's especially a bad idea because like this dude needs to get to a certain health before he'll teleport forward. So I've learned that. It's actually really easy and fun. I think it's, other than losing threat, I mean, Prot Paladin just has a lot of great AoE tools. So like AoE packs, I'm like, yeah, I love it. Okay, so we got to get to another squall. People are probably freaking out a little bit. It's like a little late, but we get it. And on Tyrannical, with pretty pumping DPS, I mean, like the Demon Hunter's at 5k, and I'm at almost 3, and Hunter and Warrior at 3.5. Like this is top deeps for where we're at now. Like I don't even think like people who've like cleared Heroic and did Mythic Plus constantly, they're not that much higher than us. Like this is pretty top gear, top DPS for this. Now single target, Shadow Priest and certain specs, obviously are doing, and Unholy are doing like incredibly well. But these are quite normal numbers for us to be around, eye level 200-ish, like around it, right? So like 190, 200, something like that, right? Pretty normal numbers here. And we're doing the thing, but look how long a 6 takes. How are people doing 15s? I don't get it. I know you have Prideful, but not for this, probably. I'm not sure. Because I've seen people do 15s and 14s at like lower eye level than I'm at now. So it must be just like super outplays. And what helps a lot is interrupts. Like if you have, if like I get to call interrupts over comms, a lot less damage goes out, right? So there's a bit of that too. So he psychs us out. Did he even do Gloom Squall? Maybe he did. I don't know. But see, all we're left with is this pack out here. And you know how I used to pull this? I don't have any videos. I would be constantly pulling the dude, and we'd be fighting this phase with call. And I used to be like, that's how this place works. That's how it goes. I think we lost our warrior again. I see the meme now. It's the warrior dies constantly to mechanics, and I'm rezzing them every time. I didn't even notice that. But yeah, at the end, yeah. So this gauntlet's not that hard. You got to come with some deeps right now, and the warrior releases, which is a big rip, because I'm like, again, we'll just res you, man. It's not that far. Like it would be. I mean, it is very far. It'd be very easy to res you. Releases, which is not great. And again, me and this Demon Hunter alone I'm just walking over traps. I got big health pool, but me and this Demon Hunter could just shred all these packs ourselves, right? It's not a big deal. This one's taking a little bit longer, but we're not hurting for damage. And of course the MM Hunter is like, MM Hunter's like meta, currently early Shadowlands meta of top AoE DPS. So of course pumping there too. Maybe not as fast as a Demon Hunter can though. So we're having a bit of a chill and joking around. It's like, oh, we would have 2-chested this if we got like our 3 minutes back or whatever. Turns out that wouldn't be true. Actually, spoiler alert for this first one. So we haven't wiped on a boss yet. But this one's a mechanically unforgiving fight, and it could be overwhelming depending on how many times you've done it. I have done this fight and wiped to it in every way possible. Many. I don't know. I think we could probably look it up, like 20. So what you do is as soon as you see one of them going, right, you run to it because it's going to go off first and the one that's next to it isn't. It doesn't. Is it the next one in line? Is it the next one? The third one? Doesn't matter. You run towards the one that's showing itself first. And you stand right next to it and you go in. That's it. So I'm running to the left, not quite in it, and then I go in it. Now, not everyone does that though. And there's a lot going on, right? And you might be targeted. And I'm looking at the health bar. So we need 13% more. But it's 13% of a very large health pool. And I'm looking at this, I'm like, there's no way. There's just no way. I'm not popping any more cooldowns for this. Like, just wipe it, right? Just wipe it. And that's just mechanics, right? It's just, you just don't get hit by the thing. And I'm like, goodbye, cruel world. There's actually an achievement if you get shot off the other way and you land, you have to click a ball that's like on the wall. Anyway, we have the Walk of Shame, but we've got 6 minutes, 7 minutes. That's plenty. With this DPS, because we're going to all have our cooldowns by the time we get back. Like, I'll have Avenging. He'll have Meta. I don't, what is it? Marksman has like True Shot, which is, I hate that. I hate that cooldown. I was considering maining Marks, actually. Yeah, and everyone's going to have the cooldown. I don't know, what's the Warrior cooldown? Probably some raging thing. And I put a square on myself, which actually says CC the square. And thanks for the life grip, healer. And I say, mostly to the healer and the warrior who've been dying to these mechanics. Like, I've seen them both get hit by Craggy Fracture quite a bit. And this is a Craggy Fracture, but more complicated type mechanic. I'm basically like, I'm a square. Stay literally on top of me. It's not that I don't mess up mechanics, but that's what I'm watching. That's what tanks do. Tanks, we're looking at like, where's the room? Where's the boss? Where are the people? Where should I be? Right? So that everyone can do what they need to do. And so like, I'm watching it probably more than anyone else. I'm like, stay literally on top of me. And I don't know if they do it or not, but like, that's what I tell them. I was like, literally just stand on this square and I will lead you through the battle. All right. That's a bit of the tank job. Now this on a 6, yeah, I'm interested in the 7, right? So we're in the middle. I'm like just a little bit outside of it and then you go back in. I might have taken some there, but still, that's it. Lot going on, but it's quite simple. Somehow my brain registers this one very, very well. Ooh, okay, yeah. So this is where I just sit and flash heal. I'm not taking that much damage at all. We're gonna Gloom Squall. I keep psyching out the Demon Hunter, which you're supposed to do. I think the Demon Hunter got hit and flew back. What a baller. Again, doing the mechanics, stay on the square. I think that they got hit. But like, I don't take a ton of damage from him, so much that I'm just sitting here globaling and just spending globals on flash to keep people up. I don't know what they're taking damage. It's probably the blur or something like that. Again, stay on the square. The square doesn't get hit. Everyone else is dying, and I'm just out here healing, and I can't out heal. I just got to pop it here because we're not going to make it. And the Demon Hunter, I freak him out. And I'm like, like you're supposed to do it where melee can still do it, but better to just get it down than die, right? So do the mechanic. I feel like some people got hit. I'm not so sure at this point, but that's my focus, is do the mechanic to lead people like where to be, drop the Gloom Squall dome. Basically wherever I'm standing is when I'm going to drop it, right? Do the mechanic and heal. I am just flashing. Flash a light. Okay, we're sitting in some dark, which is okay, but it's not going to stop Gloom Squall. See, I'm healing, and I'm just like, nah, just stay in here. So we're doing it. We got 2% left, but we could easily wipe this. Again, follow the square. Things going fine. And 6% left. This is not trivial. This is still very wipeable, and this is Tyrannical. Tyrannical 6. Like, fortified 6, this would have been over like 2 minutes ago, this fight, right? I think I ate some of it there. Did I get hit? I might have gotten hit there. Oof. Losing it. Again, that's why Tyrannical's hard, is like eventually you just kind of lose the mental fortitude to keep going. I'm just like, I'm not even moving. I'm like, get back in here. Like I warned everyone, I was like, stay on top of me. That's my strategy. I'm not optimally going to run you in front of him for Gloom Squall. I'm not a demon hunter. I can't jump. I'm a paladin. Very slow. Much heals. Word of Glory into Word of Glory. Lovely. Into, I think I'm going to start flashing pretty soon. Got some holy power here. Gonna Word of Glory. And running over to the first one and getting in. And that's the strat right there. Getting low. 2%. You hate to see it. And what are we going to get? Boom. Was that lay on hands or was that a crit Word of Glory? And now I am flash healing. Don't get hit by the mechanic. Right back in. And my God, I think I got like a crit Word of Glory is how this is happening. I think. I'm not so sure. Unless the healer crit something, but like I went from like 20 to 100. And then I was able to flash heal. And we +1 a 6. With the DPS down, right? That's part of it too. I take a screenshot, by the way, of all my pluses. I don't know why. I just think that's cool. Got a big old folder of them. But anyway, that's Sanguine Depths +6. I'm at 202 gear level after this one. After I get this little piece of gear here. It's only a 197, you know. Like now I'm like, I need 210. I want 213s. I want, you know. All right, so that's a 197 boots, and that's an upgrade for me. It's a big one, actually. I'll take it. And yeah, Tyrannical. Get ready to do the boss mechanics forever. Forever. Well, it's fun, though, if you like the boss mechanics. Tuna Scythe, not a huge fan. This one, I love this one. I think this is good. I'll see you on the next video.